Welcome to the Sugar Hill Podcast, where we focus our lens on the roots of our behaviors and talk about ways to improve our lives in the present, readying us for a journey of chasing our purpose in life. I am your host, Jeremy, author, coach, and speaker, and every day I wake up to help people operate at their highest potential through self-awareness. I hope you walk away with at least one thing you can implement every day to live the life you deserve. Today's podcast will continue to break down my first book, A Gift of Peace and Purpose, A Survivor's Journey, specifically Capacity to Pour. After listening to today's podcast, you'll recognize when you should and should not pour your purpose into the world. In our last episode, we talked about what are you pouring, or what's your purpose in life? How are you meant to be of service to people? And for me, I define purpose as the outcome of your lessons learned in life, your gifts and your talents, and how you can serve other people. When I realized what my purpose was, which is to help people operate at their highest potential through self-awareness, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to help anyone who came into my life. I wanted to help everyone that I met because I knew the feeling of fulfillment, and I wanted others to have that same feeling. But quickly I realized that that was not sustainable. Capacity to pour. For me, in order to recognize your capacity, it starts with accepting that we all have limited resources, limited in our energy, our attention, what we can take on. We're just not built to keep going and going and going. Accepting that we have limited resources makes it easy to know when and when not to pour your gift into the world. But that leads us to self-awareness. I'm self-aware that maybe this moment is not the right moment for me to help others. I'm self-aware to know that I need to prioritize my health in all ways before I can help others. I'm self-aware to know that if I put others first, eventually I will have nothing to give to myself, and that's never the place that you want to be in. Sometimes it's important for us to even establish boundaries. Sometimes those boundaries are with ourselves. Making sure that we have checkpoints in place to know when to pull it back in and when to step forward. To me, boundaries are requests of others, or sometimes yourself, to allow you the space to pour into yourself and to ensure that everything that you need to be whole is met before you start to move forward. Which leads us to self-care. Self-care is, of course, what you define it to be. Self-care is based on what allows you to restore your capacity. For some, it may be having a day to just lay on the couch and be relaxed. For others, it may be doing hobbies. For me, it's meditation and sitting in silence and in nature, allowing my body to just rest, listening to water sounds, anything to pull me present. Practicing self-care as a routine creates the habit, so that way you have the needs for you to be whole met. And when our needs aren't met, then how can we be of service to other people? And that leads us to intention and circumstance. When our intention is not pure, when the intention of the other party is not pure, that goes into the ingredients of the outcome. And what we don't want is an outcome that is not pure. Our circumstance that we're in must be right. That's why self-awareness and boundaries are critically important. When the circumstance doesn't feel right, when you feel that the person isn't ready to receive what you have to offer, when you're not in a place to pour into the other person, listen to yourself. The last thing that you want is to stretch yourself beyond what you need to be stretched and have a negative impact on someone's life. not only could that impact you negatively, but it could also impact the other person. Do your best to have pure intention. Pour into others with the intention that you would want to receive. I feel when these 5 things are in place, accepting that we all have limited resources, self-awareness, boundaries, self-care, and intention and circumstance, our capacity to pour into others has a better chance of being consistently more than what we need. When we know that the world is constantly going back and forth because of our free will and our decisions, we have to ensure that we can take care of ourselves to meet all of our needs and then be of service to others. What good are we if we don't meet our own personal needs? What good are we if our capacity is on empty? What does that say about how we want others to live when we aren't treating ourselves with the respect that we deserve? I hope that by hearing these 5 things, that even if you decide not to chase your purpose, you at least have the ability to honor your needs and what is required for you to be whole, so that way you can live the life that you feel you deserve. What are you pouring? And the capacity to pour. These things go hand in hand. Honor yourself by taking the time to reflect on circumstances, the lessons that you've learned, your gifts and talents, and connect all of the dots to recognize what your purpose is and ensure that you have the ability to honor your needs and then the needs of others. And it is my hope that when you identify your purpose in life, that every decision that you make is about honoring your purpose to live a life of fulfillment, of peace and purpose. This has been the Sugar Hill Podcast. This is Jeremy, signing off.